things that really stood out to me in terms of what they have done, and really why I don't have a lot of optimism based on what I've seen, because they have been masterful. And I would even encourage, I could have played that whole segment from the clip I mentioned from MSNBC. Do Black Lives Matter to the gay community, LGBT equality, civil rights? I posted it before, but I'll do it again. I would encourage folks to check that out. It only has 20 views, so I assume, a lot of people haven't seen this program, but they even talk about the history of where that hashtag Black Lives Matter came from, who started that. Just check it out. I would play it on my own, but you have homework, so you can check that out if you think it would be constructive. And even as something as simple as that, with that hashtag, talk about the significance of words. You heard a lot of people saying that this is not about race. This is not about race. It's not about black and white. That's key. But just also, even when we do talk about this and suggest or tiptoe around the fact that, yes, this is about race. Yes, this is about whites. Even then, that hashtag Black Lives Matter, and I got to do again, I think it was our call in Alabama, and I totally agreed, had said, that is not correct. And I think Bruce Fine and several of our other listeners had said it is akin, and I'm in agreement, I'm just, noting, but it's akin to in the 1960s so-called civil rights movement, when you see black people with signs that say, I am a man, I am a woman. Nobody would need that sign unless there is some doubt about whether or not you are a man, woman. And that is, that's code. That's what we need. Codification. We need accuracy, honesty about racism, white supremacy, and what it means to be white. We need crystal clear, 1,000 proof honesty about that. We cannot dilute that, skirt that at all. And it's been just tons. That's what whites do. That's one of their main activities. Obfuscate, confuse, obfuscate. We don't want clarity. But that hashtag, in my view, that could be weaponized. Just to say black lives don't matter. We don't want idealism. We don't want a statement of what we would like to be. I think in many of these instances, it would be much better to weaponize that as an indictment every time. Every hashtag, every t-shirt or sign or whatever that's got that on it is an indictment of what whites have done, are doing, are planning to do on into eternity. Devotion and commitment to white terrorism pathology on display in all areas of people activity. That's what we need, in my opinion, to be saying, no, black lives don't matter. You illustrate that every single day, not just with Mike Brown. You illustrate that to me when you have examples. This was in the Washington Post, and this didn't get any attention. This is what I mean about when people say there's a race war starting, or that whites are declaring war. Racism, white supremacy is war. The race war, if you want to call it that. So I don't even know when that started, but that's old. That has been long running with no end in sight. Racism, white supremacy is war, and it's whites waging war with black people in all areas of people activity. This is war. Michael Brown situation and Marlene Pinnock, Renisha McBride, Ayanna Stanley Jones. Absolutely. Absolutely. But when you get a report like this in the Washington Post that says, if you're poor, your mortgage rate can depend on the color of your skin. A new study finds that black borrowers were 50% more likely to have overpaid for their mortgages between 2004 and 2008. That right there is war. That right there is an indictment of whites, and that right there makes it very clear it's not black and brown people. Anthony Shahid didn't say that either. It's not black and brown people. It's not black and gay people. It's not black and white women. It's not black and immigrant. It's black people being targeted above and beyond anybody else on the planet by whites. That is played out in their number. And they even have that in the statistics, that black people get way worse mortgage rates than Latinos, white people, Asians, everybody. They got it in their own day. And this was in the Washington Post. This is not some, nutty pseudoscientific BS. This is the Washington Post put this out. And this is recent. This was just December 23rd. I didn't hear a big hubbub about that. I didn't hear people get on. Maybe I missed it. I don't see everything, but I didn't see the same type of intensity. And that's what I mean in terms of connecting the dots and being very clear about what happens in all instances, not trying to soft pedal this. I know some of these people, particularly if you have a job, whether you make a lot of money or no, you can be confined, restricted about what you say. You've seen that over the last couple months. We've seen black people losing their jobs. The teacher that was posting on Twitter and she ended up being fired. All the while you had a white teacher who was posting that on her bucket list would be to kill all black people. And I think she just got like a 2-day paid vacation or whatever, and she's still on the job. That's it. I think they put something in her permanent folder, and that's that. Moving on. You've seen tons of illustrations of that. Just, I know some black people, they're not able to, or they're scared, or they're confused, or a combination of all. The more of us that do grasp it, just the importance of having the courage to be accurate and honest about that at all times. Am I saying go on your job and broadcast that? Absolutely not. But at minimum, number one, not lying with yourself, and then having the courage when you are able to talk about racism, white supremacy, where you conclude that you are able or you're choosing that I can do it in this moment and I can deal with the consequences, whatever that may be. Hey, having the courage to make that more often, to make that choice to do so and be accurate. It's not about name calling. It's not about being angry. It's not about jumping up and down. It's just about being accurate about what is happening on this planet and the problems we face as black people.